Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Topic Thunder. Here from the top 10, I am John Roca.
And I am Matt Nost. This is a show that we do every week for our patrons over at patreon.com/the top 10 with the number 10. Please join us over there. There's a special email. You can rifle in whatever questions, topics you want us to talk about. We'll know what they are before we get them. And we are just as surprised as you are.
Absolutely. We love it. And thanks to everyone who's been sending in topics and sending in questions and suggestions. This is a perk you get as a Patreon member, $5 and above Patreon member. So please keep sending in your questions. Keep sending in your thoughts. You know, people are going back to work. People are going back to theaters. People are going back to stadiums. All people going back to restaurants, going back to all kinds of things. So what's the experience like? Let us know what questions you're having about the world and about all the madness that's going on and all the good things that are going on as well. You know, we talk about all the nutty stuff, but there's good stuff going on too. So ask us questions about that as well. Matt, I think you start us off this time, please.
All right. Our first one comes to us from Jeremy Bowers.
Hey.
It says, hey guys, I have a Schmodown related question for each of you since Team Top 10 is my favorite team of all time. Matt, do you see yourself ever coming back to the Schmodowns in any way? And John, in what way do you think would be the best way for Matt to come back in? Competitive manager on the desk, commissioner maybe? Thanks for all the content, Jeremy B.
Yeah.
Well, I asked you, so...
in what way would I see Matt coming back in? I'll be honest with you. I don't know that there's a way that Matt's come back in. I have a feeling that Matt has been offered numerous things in the past, and in the end, it hasn't really vibed for him. But you never say never in this business. Certainly we know Christian Harloff has a silver tongue for convincing people to do things. Does it always work? No, but most of the time it does. So I would say two things. One, commissioner could be fun, although it's a lot of responsibility for him to shoot some sketches and stuff. Manager, I think, feels more the approach because Matt's humor can be on point, which is always, he slays every time he's out there. And his conversations, his interviews, his promos, all of that. I think that's where Matt Nost would be really well served if he was to come back into the Schmodown. That's my 2 cents on that.
Fair enough. Jeremy, to answer the question, no, I am not coming back to the Schmodown. Although Christian did ask if I'd ever be willing to call a match, and I was like, sure.
Yeah, right.
Sure. I'd happily do that. But he asked manager, he wanted to get me back as a player, and I was like, you don't need me. You don't. And then he was like, what about manager? I've got this great new idea. And I'm like, you don't need me for that either. You don't. There are people like that will do a much better job at it.
Yeah, much more committed to it, to what he wants to do with
it.
Yeah,
what the vision that you have, and then we'll really jump into the part.
Yeah.
And I don't want to deprive somebody who's actually going to do what you need them to do.
Yeah.
So there's better people than me for that. But you know what? If you want me to call a match, I would love to. I'd be happy to, because you just show up and it's nice to see old faces.
Oh, sure.
Drop a joke or two, but you're really there just to enjoy the game action. Sure, I'm in for that because I like the trivia action of it. I think it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
But all the other stuff, that gives people rooting interest, I understand entirely why he's constructed like that. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And, but it just, there are better people at it than me. There just are.
Yeah, but
I wish I could have gotten to my I don't give a shit character, which is just actually me, that I did with Bibbs, because it's just like I'm kind of spent.
I understand that. Trust me, I understand that.
Oh, well, I was just saying more so with the overall process of showing up, and I was just like, I don't want to do a character, and I don't want to buy one-off things that I'm going to spend $25 on two things. I'm going to use them once and never touch them again, and just like
I've never understood that myself, brother. I never done that. I mean, I bought the hats, but I have multiple matches, so I always wear the hats. And I wear my jackets, but my jackets are my normal jackets anyway. I've never understood people who buy all this costumes and all this stuff and just
you have to
entrances. Love it. Yeah, you have to love it, and you have to need the attention. Let's put that on the table too. You have to need the attention Bibbs goes crazy. Sure. And this is no offense to Bibbs, because Bibbs and I have a great relationship now, but I know Bibbs was always upset that he wasn't he didn't win for best entrance, or he didn't win for, and he spent so much time coming up with these entrances because he's a very creative guy naturally. And so, he spent, and I totally get it. I totally get that he spent a lot of time and he wanted that recognition from the fans, and eventually, and it just didn't come at the level that he was hoping that it would come. And I understand his concern and his gripes about it for sure, because he certainly deserved a little more recognition for what he did than he got. But yeah, that's the game. And
he's got passion for it.
He really does. And you got to have it. I think, at this level, dude, the passion you got to have for it is very strong. And if you don't have that passion, it can make it very difficult to keep going in the Schmodown, because it asks a lot of you time-wise. It asks a lot of you emotionally and mentally as well. So just putting that out there. So I understand. Yeah.
When we were starting
out, Matt, it was a lot more fun, a lot more relaxed.
Well, just showing up and answering questions. Around.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically it. Yeah.
And then it became, hey, I need you to show up early and cut this promo, and then you need to sit around for 2 hours so I can use you in this shot. And like, this is supposed to be a trivia game.
Yeah.
But then there are other people and be like, awesome, I can't wait. Like, I've got ideas for that shot. And just like, you need to surround yourself with people that are like that, Christian, not humbugs like me. And I've told him that, and he's still kind to say, I'd love to have you back. And it's just Christian being a nice guy.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it, but it's just, to those that love it, let's focus on them, because they're going to give you and the fans everything they want to see.
Yep.
Yeah. So direct your attention there. It's not me being disrespectful. It's just knowing that I'm not a good fit, and it's okay to say no to things.
Yeah, it is okay to say no to things.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
You got to learn that at some point. It's just like, you can't do everything, and sometimes it's just not the right thing.
Yep, I'm discovering that more and more as I keep being out here on my own, brother. The saying no to things that don't work for you is a very powerful tool to have in your toolbox for sure. All right, anything more on that one, dude?
No, I don't think so. Great question, Jeremy.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. Very good stuff. Chapman family is up in here, Matt. The Chapman family. Hey, John and Matt. G'day from down under. No question this week. However, if it's okay, I have a request. All right. The son of one of my closest friends has been drafted by Kent State University as a punter. Shout out. And I was wondering if you could keep an eye on his progress from time to time once the season begins. His name is Josh Smith, and he is from Melbourne, Australia. I would appreciate it greatly. Cheers and be well, Cam Chapman. All right. That's more of a thing.
Just so when you talk to Josh Smith again, Cam, he got a scholarship from Kent State. So he didn't get drafted by the school or anything like that.
Good call.
So just like as a vernacular, how's the scholarship? Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, totally. I'll happily keep an eye out. It gives me some sort of interest, I guess, in some level in college football, because I don't watch anymore.
Yeah.
So sure, Kent State. Maybe they got a good team. I don't know. The nice thing about it is punters come. I don't know a single punter's name before they make the pros. And it's one of the best gigs in all of sports.
Yeah.
So if he's any good, he very well could make the NFL. I have no idea. He could be just as good as, anybody else in the entire all of college football. So we might be getting a little sneak peek of greatness here from Josh Smith. There's always a chance.
Always a chance.
Always
Great guy. Who else? What were the great punters? There are some damn good punters.
I think the Chargers, I don't know if they still have him. They had a guy that seemed to always be able to pin it within the 10-yard line. He was just really good at getting it just as close as you could without being a touchback. I can't remember his name. That's the problem with punters. You don't remember their names unless they have a 15-year career.
Well, I mean, Kent State did a nice job last year in the MAC. The Kent State Flashes, is that the name of the team? The Kent State Golden Flashes. Golden Flashes. They went 5-1 last year with COVID situation. Oh, I'm sorry, 3-1. They only played 4 games.
Still,
3-1's good. Too bad. They beat Eastern Michigan University, beat Bowling Green. They beat the Akron Zips. They lost to the University of Buffalo 70-41. Whoa. Oh, that's a tough loss, bud.
Still, though, they hung 41 on them. It's not like it was 70-12 and just like, you guys only got 4 field goals. Boy, that's tough. And they put up 70.
So
they were still scoring, just Buffalo scored.
Yeah.
Almost double.
The scores are pretty high too, because the two out of 3 games they won, they were over 60 points. So I don't know if your boy's going to be punting that much. I'll be honest with you, if they're scoring at this level.
You never know.
But you never know. That's true.
You never know. Could have been a weird year, or now everybody is going out and recruiting a ton of defenders to try and shut down all these high-powered offenses within the conference.
Good point.
So it could become more of a kick. Who knows? Who knows? But Josh Smith could hear his name ring out on draft day at some point, round 10.
Wow. Got some interesting games coming up for Kent State this year too. They start off the year against Texas A&M University. Wow, against in College Station. So tough task to take on Jimbo Fisher and their team at Texas. Then they take on VMI, the University of Iowa, University of Maryland. Wow, Big Ten stuff here. Bowling Green, University of Buffalo, Western Michigan, Ohio, Northern Illini, Central Michigan, the Akron Zips, and Miami of Ohio all over again. So here's what I'll say to you, man. If your boy starts, Cam, I know he's the son of one of your closest friends, but if he starts, I'll happily have him on Sports Time or Game Time rather, for like a 10-minute interview about what his experience is like as an Australian coming in to play as a punter and start for the Kent State University.
Why not? It's a great story.
Yeah.
Let me know when you do it, and I'll tune in. I'd like to see that.
Perfect. All right, there you go. All right, let's move on to our next thing. What do we got?
Well, and the other nice thing is, if he is starting this year, I would guess that when they play A&M and Iowa, and they're going to be punting a lot.
Yes, they are going to be punting a lot.
They're going to be punting quite a bit in those. I'm just guessing.
No offense.
Outside, having not watched religiously any college football for over a decade. I still catch games every once again, but religiously like I used to, it's been at least a decade. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Yeah.
And say maybe Akron might be punting a decent amount in those games.
Yeah. By the way, I love that someone connected to the top 10 as a fan. They're a punter. Consider we use punt all the time on our show. So I like that. I like the symmetry of that.
Well, we don't know if this guy is a fan, but hopefully he becomes a fan of, if nothing else, Game Time when he comes on, and you get a lifelong collegiate athlete as a fan at that point.
That would be nice.
That'd be a good one. Hopefully it happens.
Yeah, for sure. All right. What's our next question here, Matt?
Comes from Reagan Lovig.
Okay.
Says, hi guys. Who are some actors/actresses who, while still having successful careers, you thought would be A-listers, but rather they became more sidekicks or smaller bit players? For me, I was and still am aboard the Taylor Kitsch train. I'm right there with you. I got a ticket. I know they tried with him and some big projects bombed, which ultimately hampered his climb to big movie star, but he is magnetic in all he does, and I think he has the goods, although his time may have passed. Others for me are Cole Hauser, Olivia Thirlby, Allison Lohman, and Barry Pepper. Perhaps they chose not to be that headliner, or the system chose for them. Yeah. But whatever the case, they are some super charismatic actors who I thought would have been the next big stars. Keep being rad. Regan Lovig.
Great question.
Great question.
Yeah. We were just talking about Dredd, I think, the other day. And Olivia Thirlby is, in essence, a poor person's Anne Hathaway. Like, she has the same look, the same approach, the same vibe, but was never able to kind of achieve that kind of level of success that Anne Hathaway has. But you saw her in Dredd. You saw her in Juno. So she's been in some high-profile stuff for sure. But, I don't know if she's ever had her own series or been able to lead movies or given that opportunity. Cole Hauser, I think, is tailor-made to be a character actor. He's never going to be a lead.
He never had a shot
necessarily. Yeah, it's like, just there's too much about him that is just not leading man status. But he's a leading villain. Certainly was that in Pitch Black.
Sure.
And a few other films where he's played the villain. He's got that charisma to play that, but to be the lead. And he's good in Yellowstone and with Costner. I like him in that.
Yeah, Cole Hauser never doesn't enter into the same discussion to me.
Yeah.
As if you're saying Taylor Kitsch, because he did helm some huge projects that bombed, and that's what's going to kill him. It's like Eric Bana.
Yeah.
I think your days as a leading man are done. But you brought up Dredd. Carl Urban, I always thought would get a shot, and he's never really gotten a shot.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Clive Owen.
Yeah. Clive Owen had a shot. Josh Hartnett.
He says he quit on his own volition, like took a step back.
I never believe.
And maybe I don't know if that is true or not. It doesn't seem the case, but what the fuck do I know?
Katherine Heigl.
I was trying to think of actresses. I think Heigl did it to herself.
She did it to herself. It was right there. She was right there to be successful for the rest of her career, and could have been, but she had to kind of, listen, again, and I want to make this very clear. This is not about gender. Sometimes people, regardless of fucking gender, are a-holes behind the scenes, and they cause trouble, and they are just difficult to work with. And it is, again, it's not about gender. Plenty of male actors are difficult to fucking work with, and people talk about them. Now, does it mean if you're a woman, it makes it more difficult to succeed in Hollywood when you're difficult to work with more than men? Yes, that absolutely is the truth. But being difficult to work with is irrespective of gender.
Well, on Grey's Anatomy, was it her last season or second to last season?
Yeah.
She didn't want to be nominated for any awards because she said that she felt the writing for her character were not good enough to be nominated. Not her acting, but the writing. So you're like, so all the people that slaved to put this together so you can show up and play pretend.
Yeah.
Fuck you, because you didn't give me a good enough material to work. That's where it's like, I don't give two shits what your gender is not who you are. It's like, if you're going to be that big a dick, although that said head, then there was the homophobic slurs from the other dude.
Yeah. Isaiah Washington.
Washington. That set seemed to have some issues here and there.
Sure.
But then throwing the knocked up Judd Apatow and them under the bus after it was a success and put her kind of on the map, cinematically speaking.
Yeah.
To throw them under the bus. It was just like one after another. You can't keep walking around going, oh, you having Cheerios, and pissing their Cheerios, and then expect that people are upset in this town.
Yeah.
So Heigl did have a shot, though. She could have been Meg Ryan.
Oh, totally. She could still be working now.
Yeah.
Doing those kinds of shows.
Pumping out movies.
Pumping out those rom-coms or pumping out action adventure movies.
Have Reese Witherspoon's career, where you do some of the lighthearted and then you get like one or two pictures where you got a shot of maybe getting Oscar buzz.
It was never about her not having the chops. Heigl's always had the chops. It's a matter of like, I mean, look at Sandra Oh. Sandra Oh, out of Grey's Anatomy, has been able to do some fantastic work, and just recently in that Invincible animated show, she understood the system, played it well, and got into positions with her talent and her tenacity. Seems like Heigl had a lot of things just kind of in her lap, and in the end, it just caused problems. Another one's Alex Pettyfer. Alex Pettyfer, they were trying to make Alex Pettyfer happen as a young actor, and there's all kinds of stories about how much of an arrogant prick he was.
Oh, I Am Number 4, dude?
Yeah, the I Am Number 4 guy. Yeah, beastly, that guy.
Yeah. That's all I knew about him. I watched I Am Number 4 because I knew the hype was they were genuinely trying to build him, and that everybody agrees he's a dick. And I was like, I want to see if his talent is good enough to overcome. Yeah. To basically take the momentum and the push that he's getting from some industry individuals. Right. Is that enough to overcome his early hubris? And it was not. That movie sucks.
Yeah.
And he's not charming in it. No way do I go, wow, this guy's got something. Whereas Taylor Kitsch looks like he should be a dick. And yet somehow I am genuinely, I've seen John Carter probably 5 times.
Wow. Really? Okay.
The parts of it I don't like at all. Like they're terrible. But the parts that I do like, and they all have to do around him, like surrounding him, I love. I think it's got a lot of interesting, fun, engaging ideas in it.
Yeah.
It's also got some just weird and stupid and almost fanciful elements that don't seem to work, even though it's a guy that gets transported to Mars and thrown into a civil war that's in, between the 3 factions. There's this other race of individuals that lives above them or around them. I don't know how to describe it. Anyway,
Yeah.
But Kitch has always had like a charisma that I believed in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't. But Battleship bombed.
Yes.
John Carter bombed. John Carter bombed hard.
He also was in that second season of True Detective that everybody hated.
Yeah. Lone Survivor was okay. I mean, it was good.
Yeah, but he's part of an ensemble.
He's part of an ensemble. I'm trying to think of what else. Because I think he got introduced to us. Was it on Friday Night Lights, the TV show?
It's TV show, yes. He played Reagan. Is that correct? Reagan?
No idea. I've only seen the first couple episodes.
Yeah. He played. No, Tim Riggins. Sorry, he played Riggins.
Riggins. There you go.
Apologies. But I mean, he's still working. He was just in a show called Shadow Play. He was in 21 Bridges. That one with I think Chadwick Boseman. Was in it. Yeah, that the Russo brothers produced, I believe. He was in. Oh, he was great in Waco. You watched that, didn't you?
Yes. He is excellent in Waco.
Great in Waco.
Yeah. You see that, and you're like, to me, he reminds me kind of like Colin Farrell. He's not just a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
He can act and actually seems kind of, it's like you'd want to hang out with him.
Yeah.
But he can genuinely act.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the Lone Survivor, Savages, which was pretty fucking terrible. John Carter, X-Men Origins, Wolverine. Oh, I forgot he was in Snakes on a Plane. But yeah, so he had a show, but he's still working. So if nothing else, he's still somewhat in demand. He's still working, and that's a positive. Even when you fall down. I mean, Hayden Christensen is another one, right? I mean, Hayden coming out of when he got that Star Wars thing, you thought, choose, he's gonna fly.
Star Wars is more of a curse.
It seems like now, yeah. Mark Hamill, long time, had to fight for a long time not to be typecast as Luke Skywalker or find projects that worked for him, and he ended up going into voiceover and becoming a success doing that.
Yeah, if you weren't a known commodity beforehand, Harrison Ford wasn't, but he also got to do, he did a couple projects right after that blew up, so it elevated him above.
Yep.
Yeah. But everybody else, if you were unknown coming into it, you didn't have much going out of it.
Yeah.
But like, I think the only ones that will probably walk away unscathed from this latest iteration are Isaacs and Driver.
Mm-hmm.
Like the others will face some sort of collateral damage.
Well, I think they're all going to be fine. I think Daisy Ridley is going to be fine. Rosemary Tran. I think Daisy Ridley.
Her and Boyega, I fear for.
Well, Boyega just walked off.
That set of his TV show or whatever.
Yeah, walked off halfway through the shooting of the show.
They were going to reshoot without him.
Yeah. Weird, man.
When I read that and I was like, I don't recall that ever happening before. And then the article, like the last paragraph is like, studios don't often do this. I was like, that's what I thought. I literally had the thought of reading it. It was like, when was the last time somebody walked off? They'd already done a bunch of shooting and it wasn't like an Eric Stoltz first 2 weeks in Back to the Future where they're like, this isn't it.
Yeah.
Where they just said, I think we're just going to redo it. Like that doesn't happen to see it at the end. So yeah, I'm worried about Daisy and John. I don't know. Well,
I mean, Daisy went off and did Murder on the Orient Express.
How many people saw it?
Well, they're doing a sequel, so they must have liked it.
Yeah, but she's not in it.
Yeah, she is. Oh, she's not in the sequel. No, because it's a new mystery.
Exactly.
But what else did she just do? Fuck. Chaos Walking. Not a lot of people went to see that. That's for sure.
Was that the one that everybody said was god awful with Tom Holland?
Yeah, the one with Tom Holland. Yeah.
I talked to somebody that went to see it that day, and he was like, it was the first time I had the opportunity to go to a movie. It was right when it came out, and he was in an area that was less populated, so they didn't have as high restrictions. And he was like, it wasn't even worth my time being excited, though, going to, I haven't been to a movie in a year. Yeah. And he was like, it was disappointing even for that. It's like, oh my God, that has to be so god awful.
Yeah, but remember, she's a British actress. She had done 6 episodes of TV before she landed this role. And I think she was incredible in all 3 of the films, even though I'm not a fan of that trilogy. I think she was great. And so she's still young. So what's your next thing? And the next 3 projects she has are these kind of Britishy type films. Women in the Castle, which is a war film in Germany, with Hitler involved here, and she 3 widows of conspirators involved in the assassination attempt on Hitler struggle with their lives, their past rather, and Germany's liberation. Interesting. Kristen Scott
Could be.
Thomas. Yeah,
I hope
in
so.
that one.
That sounds interesting.
Right. And then something called The Marsh King's Daughter with Ben Mendelsohn, where she's a woman who seeks revenge against the man who kidnapped her mother. So,
Okay. That seems like Oscar bait.
could be.
And if it
could
actually
be.
achieves that status, great. Otherwise, it seems like a forgettable movie that.
Yeah.
And I like both of them. Mendelsohn is one of my favorites right now.
Yeah. Agreed. But Neil Berger is directing that one, and he did Limitless, The Illusionist, and Divergent, and The Upside. So
I like Limitless.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I like Limitless a lot. I think that's a good movie.
Okay.
The Illusionist, I think, is good.
Yeah.
And then after that, Divergent, I haven't seen.
No. So yeah, those are some of those ones that you could look at. So Sarah Michelle Gellar is another one, right? I mean, she was coming out of those teen movies. A lot of dudes thought she was hot. People liked her in those movies. And
didn't you always view her as a television actress?
Yeah, but you make the jump. You try to make the jump. You see if you can. Maybe some people felt that she could. I mean, what's her face? What's her name? The one that's on that was on the client list. What was it? Jennifer Love Hewitt. People thought she was going to make the jump as well.
Yeah, but she was always a TV actress to me.
No.
Matthew Lillard was the one that I thought would always had the best shot.
Oh, he's good though, dude. I just saw him in Bosch. Fuck, he's good in Bosch.
He's always good, but I figured he was going to be second, third banana and a bunch of high profile pictures. Because I always thought he could act, and he was the most magnetic to me whenever they do those, Scream or I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Wing Commander. He's my favorite part of it. That's not really saying much, though. Freddie Prinze is good in that, but that movie's pretty terrible.
Oh, yeah.
SLC Punk. He's really good in that. But I'd seen enough of it where, like, I have a feeling, I could see him blending into a Paul Thomas Anderson type of cast ensemble. I'm not saying we'd make P.T. Andersons, but something like that, where he's in almost a repertoire of individuals that get used in these ensembles. And he's never really made that jump, but I always felt like he could.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar was a huge name. As somebody who was a couple of years older, but like than the target demographic of the TV show of Buffy and all that jazz. It's hard to make it, especially at that time, to shift from TV to movie star.
I mean, Armie Hammer was one that seemed tailor-made. Tall guy, blonde, square jaw, the whole nine. He's great in The Social Network, and then that sumbitch went off the deep end. So nobody saw Man from U.N.C.L.E. He's good in Sorry to Bother You, but that's not his film. And so
it's not his film,
right? And you wonder,
Call Me by Your Name. He's good in.
Yes, he's good in Call Me by Your Name. Okay, where's the next thing? And so
I don't hate Lone Ranger.
I don't either. I get the criticism. But I don't hate it either.
It was just, it had pirates expectations because it's Disney, it's Depp, it's huge budget.
Right.
They've been on a roll with these, and I don't hate it. It's not
that action sequence at the end, Matt, is fantastic.
It's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Army, I haven't heard an update from him in a while, or from what's going on in his world.
Oh, he just registered yesterday into a rehab facility for pills, alcohol, and sex addiction. So there we go. So hopefully he figures it out, man.
Okay. It's the last thing that he's going in for, that I'm not exactly sure what exactly rehabilitationally you can do.
I don't ask me about it. I don't believe that's a real thing, and I'll never believe that's a real thing. Sex addiction. Now, I don't give a fuck what you say to me. Men are addicted to sex from birth. So to me, that's not an addiction. It's you not having an ability to control yourself in this situation. It's different than pills or alcohol, because that's something you can actually take, in my opinion, whereas sex addiction is something where you actually, I don't know. Am I wrong on this? You can correct me if I'm wrong on this.
I do not know. He has a very specific fetish.
Yeah, that's
my thing, which is like, I don't think you can do therapy for that fetish. if that's true, he's always going to more than likely be turned on by that. I don't know how you turn that part of your brain off.
Hearts are always beating around you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
But does it extend as far as some of the accounts? I have no idea. Plus, I don't know the depth of if there were any really heinous allegations. Right. I just saw the cannibalism stuff spark up, and I read some exchanges where he's fantasizing about doing those things. But that's as far as I got. It's like, well, that's fucking weird. But I don't really follow celebrity gossip. Right, that one just elevated above because it had cannibalism in it.
As it should.
Yeah, but I followed. It's not like I checked in. What's the Army Hammer? Are charges coming in? I don't have the slightest clue in any of that. I just knew the dude may or may not have a very specific fetish.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think he was still on the trajectory before all this.
Oh yeah, totally. He was. Absolutely.
Whereas Kitch is probably off. Banna's off.
Josh Lucas is another one that's off, right? Josh Lucas.
Josh Lucas is full, and now he plays villains.
Yeah, or does Home Depot voiceovers. Yeah, basically that's it.
Yeah, it's good money. I don't blame him.
It is
for
good
that,
money.
do you?
Fuck, I'd love to do that. I auditioned for that one when Ed Harris got it. I was like, what the fuck am I auditioning for? Ed Harris.
Dude, I got Avails, which I was second place for when the Postal Service did that. If it fits, it ships.
Oh, yeah.
So I would have done 10 or 12 commercials over 2 years minimum. Ooh. Plus, you could then get the buyouts for exactly. You were on the cardboard cutout in every post office because I saw it eventually. And I was happy for the guy. Good for you, man. It's a crapshoot. It's not like I invested time and created the character and they recast me.
Right.
I went to a fucking audition and I came in second.
Mm-hmm.
It was before I ever booked anything too. And I was like, maybe I know how to do this. But that hurt. I was like, dude, that dude made so much money.
Oh yeah.
So much money. It's like, I would have been set for 5 years off of that because I don't spend a lot of money. So it's just like easy peasy. I'll take some vacations, but yeah, I don't need a flashy car. I don't need, I had a buddy get a TV show, and with his first check, he bought a Land Rover. The TV show lasted a season.
Oh, dude.
Exactly.
I hope he paid it off.
I think he got most of it, but then it was like you had this Rover, and now you got to pay for the gas.
Right.
And the insurance is higher.
Oh, yeah.
And just like, this is a bad decision. So I don't do any of that shit.
That's when you're young. You think it's always going to be coming in.
Yeah, I was not so foolish. I had been broke most of my early to mid 20s.
Yeah.
So I've lived that life. I'd rather have the security blanket and use the money to take a vacation than, hey, I spent $200 on this pair of jeans. Why? Why? That blows me away. Although I do spend like $100 on jeans because they last 7-8 years. If I like the pair, you know what I mean? There's jeans I am willing to spend. I should have said 500.
There you go.
Or when you go to Barney's and be like, a Bon Jovi t-shirt, $750. And you're like, who buys this?
Yeah, no.
Who is this for? It's got rhinestones. Okay. $750.
It's too much.
It's a Bon Jovi t-shirt.
They weren't that good. Anyway,
exactly. Not to me. I'm not from Jersey.
Sorry.
This isn't the Springsteen of my era from the Garden State, 1988 to 94.
No,
it's probably earlier than that, actually.
No one touches Bruce. All right, well, let's get out of here, Matt. We're over 33 minutes. Let's roll on out of here. Thank you all so much for these fantastic questions. Always appreciate y'all coming in and dropping some knowledge on us, dropping some questions on us, and we have fun answering them for sure. So thank you very much to everybody who dropped a question today. And if you want to do that, like we said before a number of times on this show, you go to the our Patreon, www.patreon.com/thetop10 with the number 10 there, and see at the $5 level, donate, and you can start sending in questions, thoughts, and comments about everything going on in the world. Matt,
please do. And follow the show at Top 10 Show or on Twitter or Instagram and YouTube. It's the same thing. It's / the Top 10 Podcast with the number 10. So at either of those, please hit us up at the Top 10 Podcast with the number 10 or at Top 10 Show on Twitter. And you can follow me anywhere at Matt Nost.
You can follow me at The Roca Says on Twitter and on Instagram. All right, we're out of here. Take care of yourselves. Be well. We'll talk to you next time on another episode of Topic
Thunder.